all occupy, that God has called us. And be careful that these things that we say, they have a way of having a ripple effect. You must have to understand that in the midst of all of this, God is still God.
Listen to Planet 101.1 FM News at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m., Mondays to Fridays. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
In the news at noon, President Muhammadu Buhari lauds signing of peace accord for 2023 elections. House of Representatives to meet with President Buhari next week over ASUU's continued strike action. The residents of Ikot Udoro along Nelson Mandela Street appealed to Akwa Ibom State government to fix road linking UniUyo traffic lights to Calabar Itu highway. On the front, in Russia's President Vladimir Putin to annex areas of Ukraine after the sham referendums. In sports, new NFF boss we match today in Benin. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. I am Bright James. We begin this afternoon with the community news that a resident of Ikot Udoro along Nelson Mandela Street of Calabar Itu Road have appealed to the Akwa Ibom State government to fix the road linking from UniUyo traffic lights to Calabar Itu highway, saying that the bad state of the road has become unbearable. Speaking with Planet News, they lamented that the condition of the road has caused lots of setbacks, as there is no good drainage system to control floods when it rains. They, however, added that school children find it difficult to access the road to school.
It's really terrible. It starts from the drainage. I don't know how the roads were structured, but if rain had to fall here now, it's that this whole street will be flooded, and it's really bad.
When it's raining, flood is always too much that even motor vehicles can't even pass through. It has really disturbed my business.
It's bad. People have to roll up their sleeves on their trousers to walk, and you don't know how dangerous it is. I had to pay 100 naira for the keke to get to my place. It's bad because we have little kids and the gutters are there, which is very risky.
The state of our roads is currently bad, and due to the fact that the roads are damaged.
Others lamented that the situation has made it difficult for commercial transporters to use the road, adding that the problem has led to the increase in transportation. They, however, appealed to the state governments to look into the problem and prefer solutions to it.
I urge the government to do something about it because it's really bad. Even the transport fare, they are suffering. Please let the government do something.
I don't know what government can do about it. I don't know if they even have interest in this part, but it's something they need to look into. Especially when constructing roads, they should always have a good channel where waters.
They should just do it early. They should just do it quick so that things will just go normal.
Away from that, people have been advised to preserve food in all possible ways to prevent loss and waste. As International Day of Food Loss is celebrated around the globe with the theme, Stop Food Loss for People, for the Planet. Speaking with Planet News, the 2019 presidential candidate of the Nigeria for Democracy, NPF, Barrister Akwa Ibom, said that the International Day of Food Loss and Waste Awareness is an opportunity to call on both public and private sector to prioritize actions to move ahead with innovation and reduce food loss and waste towards restoring and building back better food system globally.
High-growing population in Nigeria. If you look at the time of independence, we were just about 40 to 50 million Nigerians. But today, we're about 210 million Nigerians, thereby making it imperative that we conserve our food and effectively manage our inability to store and preserve food from the farming to the sell point and actually to those that do consume. Food loss is also important because there is something called food security. If you are able to cut off the food source of a country, you are able to bring its people to the needs. Everything that we do, we must ensure that it is the best benefit of our nation, for ourselves and to the individual person. But most significantly, food loss means lack of food security.
Akwa further maintained that food loss and waste undermines the sustainability of food system, emphasizing that when food is lost or wasted, All the resources used in producing the food, including water, land, energy, labor, and capital, will be wasted. He, however, thanked the United Nations Agency for setting aside a day to remind and sensitize the globe on food loss and waste, urging every citizen to focus on the adoption of integrated approaches designed to reduce food loss and waste.
Well, apart from trying to engage in small farming, to look at mechanization of farming. When you have mechanization of farming, you're going to have more food being produced. When you have more food being produced, it's going to be more economically viable to invest in protecting the food as it is harvested and taken to the point of sale. So if you are a subsistence farmer, join a cooperative or join forces with others so that you can have enough money to invest in the preservation of food and to avoid the loss of food.
According to the United Nations, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development SDG has called for halving per capita global food waste at the retail and consumer levels and reducing food losses along production and supply chains, noting that reducing food loss and waste presents a necessary transformation to ensure better planetary and nutritional outcomes for current and future generations. To the national scene now, where President Muhammadu Buhari has welcomed the initiatives undertaken by the National Peace Committee to commit all political actors to issue-based campaigns devoid of sentiments, incitement, personal insults, and attacks. This was during a video message to the signing of the first 2023 National Peace Accord by the presidential candidates, organized by the National Peace Committee in Abuja. The president urged all the signatories and their supporters to abide by its content and spirit to make the next year's general election successful, warning that the rise of fake news and misinformation has continued to pose a significant threat to democracy in Nigeria.
I thank members of the National Peace Committee, led by General Abdulsalami Abubakar, for their commitment and dedication to supporting peaceful elections in Nigeria and for facilitating peace generally across the country. As the President, I have always reiterated my commitment to peaceful, credible, and transparent elections. The 2023 general election is more than an election. It is an opportunity to serve Nigeria, to defend Nigeria, and to uphold her unity and progress.
President Buhari said that it was the signing of the peace accord with ex-President Goodluck Jonathan and all the presidential candidates in the build-up to the 2015 elections that contributed largely to the peaceful outcome of the polls. Resolve for a transparent and all-inclusive electoral process. Meanwhile, Abuja. In a statement, Bamidele's media office stated that the chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, who also doubles as the chairman, Southern Senators Forum in the 9th Assembly, is listed among the recipients of the 2022 National Honors Award of the Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON. The letter, which conferred the award of honor to Bamidele, was signed by the Minister of Special Duties and Inter-Government Affairs, George Akume. In the meantime, President Buhari has inaugurated a new complex for the body of benches in Abuja, while charging the body to continually discharge the role of an honest arbiter in the upcoming 2023 elections. Speaking at the event, the president commended the body in its strides toward upholding the rule of law.
As I have always maintained, adherence to the rule of law is critical to the progress of any society, and this administration has not relented in its commitment to this ideal. Efforts by a body and this, with over 5 decades of proven track record, to keep the
and must not compromise in 2023.
As the 2023 general elections draw near, the significance of the legal profession becomes even more pronounced, considering the vital roles you play in the electioneering process, both at the pre- and post-election stages. I hope you maintain the position of an honest arbiter. Once again, I thank the body of benchers for this opportunity to identify with it on this auspicious occasion of the commissioning of this beautiful edifice.
Also present at the event included the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Oluka Deriwola, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, amongst others. To the Green Chambers now, where the leadership of the House of Representatives says it will seek an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari on the resolution of the ongoing face-off between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASUU with the outcome of its interactions with stakeholders in the dispute. This is as the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation revealed its readiness to accommodate issues of concern to ASUU over the payment platforms, Integrated Payroll Personal Information System IPPIS, and the University Transparency Accountability Solution UTAS that constituted a major part of the issues that led to the strike. According to the Speaker, the leadership in the next couple of days will put up a report of its interactions with key stakeholders in the dispute and come up with the resolutions that will enable the President to view the issues at stake from an informed second option. Speaking at the last meeting of the House leadership with stakeholders, Bajabiamila said the information gathered from the extensive interactions will assist their leadership in arriving at fact-based recommendations for the resolution of the crisis. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio, 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign, sports, and entertainment scenes. Do stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, on the foreign scene, Russia's Vladimir Putin, is regional governor on Zaporizhia, says at least 23 civilians have been killed in a Russian missile strike in the region, which is one of those set to be annexed. In sports, a new leadership for the Nigerian Football Federation and NFF will emerge today in Benin, venue of the Federation's Electoral Congress, which got the go-ahead order from an Abuja Court of Appeal. The elections, which are part of the Federation's 78th Yearly General Assembly, will decide who takes over from incumbent NFF President Muhammadu Pinnick. Recall that there were fears on Wednesday that the elections would not hold as scheduled today, following an order from the Federal Ministry of Sports telling the candidates to stay away from the polls in deference to a court order halting the process. But yesterday, a ruling by the Court of Appeal ordered a stay of execution of a recent ex parte injunction secured by some stakeholders to stop the elections, while some members of the World Football Governing Body FIFA and the Confederation of African Football CAF are in Benin for the elections. On the entertainment in South African TV host Trevor Noah has announced his exit as host of The Daily Show 7 years after he took over the reins of the program. Noah made this known at the end of his show yesterday, causing many of his audience members to gasp in shock. The son of Patricia, comedian, further thanked his crew staff members and the audience for their support, especially at the beginning of the show when he was still less known. It's been the news on Planet Radio, 101.1 FM. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. Peace Committee to commit all political actors to issue-based campaigns devoid of incitements, personal insults, and attacks. The leadership of the House of Representatives says it will seek an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari on the resolution of the ongoing face-off between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of ASUU, of Universities ASUU, with the outcome of its interactions with the stakeholders in the dispute. A resident of Ikot Udoro along Nelson Mandela Street of Calabar Itu Road have appealed to the Akwa Ibom State government to fix the road linking from UniUyo traffic lights to Calabar Itu Highway. saying that the bad state of the road has become unbearable. On the foreign scene, we told you that Russia's Vladimir Putin is to hold a signing ceremony to annex 4 more areas of Ukraine. In sports, we reported that the new leadership of the Nigerian Football Federation will emerge today in Benin, venue of the Federation's Electoral Congress, which got the go-ahead order from an Abuja Court of Appeal. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, call an Newsroom 0812-770-2940. That is 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on Planet 11FM.ng and follow us on Twitter.